This is really a meeting about unknowing. Unknowing. And that's not what the me is used to. The me wants to know something. Come on, Michael, give it up. Give me the secret. Tell it. I gotta know. There's nothing knowable. All knowing is a dream. And the first thing I know is that I'm a me. Right there. There it is. And as soon as I know I'm a me, the adventure begins. So that initial first knowing of a me is already, I've already gone wrong. So anything after that isn't going to help, because I'm just going to look for more knowing, because I already know that I'm a me. And so I want to know how to get rid of my me, how to merge my me with the infinite. And yet there's only unknowing. And unknowing doesn't give you anything. There's nothing to get from unknowing, because you don't need anything. You're already what you're seeking, already. Right now. Fully. Complete. Fully whole. But the me can't hear that. That's of no use to the me. So it's a bit of a pickle. I feel like a me. And so I want to know how I can not feel like a me. But that's all a dream. Often a nightmare. So we can open it up. We can talk about it. This is an open meeting. Everybody's invited to share, participate, comment, get your questions answered, even though there are no answers. But it's okay. Everything's already okay.
Yeah, it occurred to me this week that that as soon as I put a judgment for good or a judgment for bad on something, it calls it into existence. So if I stay out of I suppose it's about staying out of labeling it's so imperceptible, so sneaky, yeah, it's hard to detect, but I feel like I caught it when I went into judgment, and that called it into existence. So if I stay out of judgment, hopefully I'm not troubled.
Well, I wanted, oh, go ahead, Faith.
I was just going to say, Dan's smiling at that.
Come on, Dan, jump in here.
No, I like it. It sounds like a good plan. I like it.
Thank you.
No, I mean, I think it's a perfectly good, awareness and perspective on things. Everything you said is good and makes a lot of sense in terms of practical approach to life. And that's great. That is real. I mean, I would think that is a really good thing and probably a helpful way to proceed. Well, could say a little more. You don't, I mean, if I was smiling, it's because I know that you can't stay out of judgment. You know, the me is there as an experience, and it is judging, and it is looking at everything and labeling everything and trying to make its way through this thing called life. But there is no judgment. So actually there is no judgment here. The me, yes, the me experience is an experience of judgment, but that's actually not really what's here. What's here is really just here without any judgment, without any labels, and without anything at all, any story. We don't know what it is. That's what Michael was saying about unknowing. And unknowing is what there actually is. So then there's also this experience of faith, trying to deal with her life and trying to know what to do. And so, judgment is part of that story. But it's also good, like I said, like I started out, as a practical approach, that makes sense. So I think both of those things can be, noticed. And I hope that's not confusing.
Yeah, no, I'm just thinking, so it was for me helpful to see that judgment call into being, call into existence, something that became a problem. Whether I see it as a good thing or a bad. Yeah, well, usually it's bad, but sometimes, even if it's good, there's still judgment around it and it calls it into existence. And yeah, so as a practical approach, yeah, I think that's very useful for me.
Yeah.
But then I was thinking the response from you and Michael and maybe everybody else will be, yeah, but there's no you anyway. So, what are you talking about? But yeah, on a human me level, I felt it was very useful to see that.
Right. So there's still a faith is there.
Yeah.
To see, how can I really make this work?
Yeah.
Work better than it's working now. Work with a little less judgment and more, and that's fine, but that isn't.
Yeah. But that's still about the me, still about faith, and it's still about the me.
Yeah.
And I don't exist, so
Well, and I wouldn't even say so much that you don't exist. I mean, that's kind of another can of worms, and maybe it's true in a way. But what I would say is that there actually isn't any. There's no judgment here.
Yeah.
Right here, there's no faith story. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah.
There, look, just see right here. What is here? Is there a story here of faith? Or is it something that's not known?
So me is the first knowing, and maybe we can spend a moment just taking that in, because once I'm a me, all bets are off. Then all the rest of it follows naturally. So it almost goes undetected. Yeah, we don't think of, I know that I'm a me, as something to take a look at, to see if that's really true. Because if you're not the me, then whatever the me says or does or doesn't say or judge or doesn't judge, who cares?
Yeah, I guess Nkosi would say, this doesn't mind. This doesn't mind.
Exactly. The unknowing doesn't mind because it doesn't know it should or shouldn't happen.
So the same old, oops,
No, go ahead, Peter.
same old question. If there is no me, is there anything left? Or, you know, the mind, or the, I don't know, I guess that's the me asking, if there is no me, what is, if anything? Other than this, but, you know, I don't want to go there because that's too simple. Well, you know, I guess I'm going to leave it at the question. I've asked this before weeks ago, and I also I don't want to quote Nkosi because he actually gave an answer to it. If there is no me, what is?
To me, if I may, it's just what's apparent. I just, if there's an apparent me or an experience of a diminished sense of me, that's just apparent. And in either case, the presupposition is that there's already no me. So it's literally immaterial whether there is the perception of that or not. So the sense of bondage or the sense of liberation is synonymous, you can say. It's just mind stuff. I don't know.
Sure.
So as Eric just said, you know, what is? Well, just what's appearing. But then you could ask, well, what is that? Okay, what is it? Right? I mean, just to say it's what's appearing doesn't really answer the question of what it is. But there is no, it's unknowing. That's what Michael, what we started out with. That's what there is. There's unknowing. Because if you had any answer, to what is, anything that would show up, oh, that's what it is. Then there's the me looking at it, saying that's what it is. I know it now, right? I know it's that. So all of a sudden you have your me back. So you see the question, what, and anything that follows that, what is always the me's question.
Right.
So, and that's just a story. There's nothing here that's an answer to a question. There may be just what is appearing, but it's not answering anybody. It's not saying anything. It's not putting itself into a story. You know, it's not fitting in to any kind of a question or story or anything. But
Exactly.
again, okay, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, when you ask the question, you get into the circular game of the me.
It's always me.
There isn't a question.
Me has all the questions, and it's
Right.
always me that's asking the question.
Right.
And again, like Michael said, the me experience isn't going to question its own questioning. It's not going to question whether that is real or not. Just assumes, yeah, oh, this is real, and I'm going to get the answer to this real question. But that's what there isn't. That's just made up stories, because what is, you know, isn't in that form. It's not in the form of any kind of an answer or a question or a story or a solution or anything. And again, you know, that's the me will hear that and it will try to figure it out and but this is not anything that can be heard really, you know, like understood. You know, it's obvious, is what we always say, but it's because again, the me is always going to turn that into something to know and understand. But I hope that didn't answer your question.
What question then? What,
I
there
don't
wasn't
remember.
any. No, just kidding. Pulling your leg.
No, you're good.
So the me is a question. The me is a question in search of an answer. Why? Why this? Why that? Me is the first question. It's the first dream. I know that I am. I know that I exist. I know that I'm here. And so here at this meeting, nothing is on offer. So even though Dan's joking, really there is no question that can be answered. In the dream, there can seem to be, and it seems to work fine. This doesn't negate that, oh, I know my car is parked at such and such. That seems to work in the dream. How? Don't know. So knowing seems to happen, but we don't know how. Go ahead, Dan.
Yeah, I mean, we can notice, you know, in this game of asking questions and getting answers, which we all know because we've been doing it our whole lives. You know, we ask a good question and we get an answer, but it doesn't end anything, right? It just leads to the next question and goes on and on and on. But what the me is really looking for is the end of the questions, right? The question that will solve the problem and make me stop this anguish that I'm in, or, you know, what this tension. And that is already here. That's just here. It's what already is. But that will never, you'll never arrive at that through the question, because all you get through the question is another answer that is, you know, it's not quite there. It's never there. It's never here, right? It's never here beyond the questions. This is what we're talking about. That's why it's unknowing, beyond this game of knowing and beyond the subject object, you know, format game. Yeah.
Go ahead, DeMarcus, go right ahead.
Yeah. You know, I'm new to the group, so yeah, what is this group about? My bad.
Going in, Michael.
About nothing.
Yeah, it's about nothing.
Oh, okay. So we just getting naked, or?
You could say, sure.
Oh, okay. So wait, yeah. Can I introduce myself?
Sure.
All right. You know, my name is DeMarcus. I love lean, and I'm a drug addict for a living. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that.
We're all
I'm
drug
on
addicts
alcohol.
here.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Yeah, we're all drug addicts.
Love is a drug.
Well, no,
Yeah.
but it's true. Me is a drug. Because it's always wants more. More of the good, less of the bad. More of the good drugs, less of the bad drugs.
You know. Oh, go, Faith. Go, Faith.
I was just going to say, yeah, and the me is never satisfied. And that's what addiction. That's how addiction works. You get no satisfaction. It just goes on and on, round and round.
All right, go, Eric.
Me? Yeah, since I was 25, I discovered that this body here, as you could say in the non-dual language, loved cannabis. And for the first 4 years of that, I would say, I really fought against that and was like, why is this happening? I shouldn't do this. I shouldn't want this. And really, that
All right,
still
go, Peter.
arises at times, for sure. Sorry. What did you
Oh
say?
no, Peter. Yeah, next, Peter.
Hang on, DeMarcus.
What?
Go ahead, Eric. Hang on, DeMarcus.
I just was saying that still arises, but there's also just the sense that that's also just what's happening, whether it's marijuana or not. If there's a me sense or not, there's just that apparently arising. So while I still do judge myself at times for it, it's you can't say anything about it other than it's just what's apparently happening. So yeah.
All right, Peter.
DeMarcus, it's
Yeah.
okay. We got it, buddy. Thank you.
Oh, we're not. Wait, what? Oh no, I'm just saying like Peter to go next.
Yeah.
All right, Peter, go on.
Marcus, there is no cue, or I didn't apply to go next, so you can just let that one go.
All right, next, Alan.
Yeah.
DeMarcus,
Yeah.
you don't need to say anything.
I don't. Oh no,
No.
I'm just like telling Alan to go next.
Yeah, you don't need to do that.
Yeah, Alan. Why? I'm just, so we could open up more.
Yeah,
Alan,
we're good.
you want to go?
DeMarcus, it's your first time, so just hang back. Check it out.
Oh, okay. Elise. Elise
DeMarcus.
Morris.
DeMarcus,
Yes.
I'm gonna mute you if you keep doing that. You feel
Oh,
me?
I'm sorry. I just don't know the expectations. That's how we do it in the other
Yeah.
meetups.
So just I'm just giving you hang back. Just
Oh,
a
okay.
bit.
I feel you.
Thanks.
Barbara.
No,
Scott.
DeMarcus,
Yeah.
don't talk. Just hang back.
Why? I'm just so the next participant could go if they want to.
No, you don't need to say anything. They'll go.
Yeah, so they could go next. So we
Yeah.
could just let them know.
You don't need to.
Barbara
All right.
Scott. Oh, my bad. What? I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Just impressed and touched by how much patience was being shown on Michael's end. I realized that my patience was
Next.
exhausted.
All right.
My patience was exhausted much quicker.
Next. Alan, go on.
I
Let's
mean-
see what you got.
No, DeMarcus, I'm talking. Just just stop talking.
He's gone. Go ahead.
Yeah, he's a
Well-
Zoom bomb.
Yeah.
Well, it was pretty obvious, and I was just touched by how he was given a chance, and I noticed how emotion came up in me pretty quick, because it was obvious that there was nothing there to engage.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Yeah. And yet it's perfect because
Right.
it's what is.
Right.
Hi, Nkosi. Welcome.
Hi, Michael. Hello, everyone.
Hi, Nkosi.
Ein Nkosi.
Nice to see you again, Michael.
Thank you. It's so good to be back. It's so good to be with all of you.
Yeah.
Nkosi's been doing energy work for me because there's no distance. Yeah, it's always a risk when I click on a name that I've never seen before. Usually I'll wait a minute to see when Zoom bombs happen. Usually there's multiple people. That will be your clue. 4, 3, 4, 5 will suddenly show up like a cluster of bees. And so he was just by himself. So it looked kind of safe, but you just never know.
Mhm.
What was interesting though, Michael, just, and again, I agree, it is perfect as there is so much discovery and learning. It was amazing how often you were giving instruction and the instruction was not at all received or heard, or, you know, the pattern became apparent very quick.
Yeah, you know, Peter, that's a good point. And I have to say that even though this meeting is about unknowing, learning to be a good host for Zoom meetings means sometimes you have to be firm. Now, that's not really my nature. I don't like to be a tough guy, but sometimes that's what's called for. And it's not personal.
Thank you. I'm learning a lot. I totally get it.
That's the mystery, guys. Even though it's unknowing, there can appear to be learning and growing and handling situations in a more effective way the next time. I don't know how that happens.
It really brings the me gets, it was almost like an injection of the me, and it, you know, I see that in life, in my life happening, and it usually takes a while till it's like a drug. It comes on and you're on it, and then it wears off. You know, it's fascinating.
I came up with a new phrase called distraction bait.
Well, that's what the me is.
Mm-hmm.
So in a way, you could say DeMarcus was the perfect representation of the me.
Mm-hmm.
Or you can say is the perfect representation of this. Because everything is this, right?
I mean, to Alan's point, this is non-duality, so there's no, well, I don't know if it's Alan's point, but the way it hits me, there's no separation between this and a not this.
Mm-hmm.
Well, all distinctions are a knowing.
Michael, you mentioned and in all of the life experience, there is learning happening. Otherwise, I wouldn't be in this group. I wouldn't have landed in this group because, so that's all part of this too, isn't it? And my daughter's been going through a very, very difficult time. And as I try to support her and I observe her patterns of behaviour and her responses, I learn about myself probably as much as anything. I hope to be helpful to her in navigating her drama, but I learn an awful lot about the patterns that I previously unconsciously followed. And I find that very helpful in navigating life. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's like somehow you can know how to handle a situation with a little more grace or a little more love or a little more acceptance, but you don't know how you know to do that. There's no one there. It's just empty. As Nkosi said, the space behind your eyes is the same space around here. Space is space. And it's all taking place. The dance, the dream is all happening right here in the space, but you're not in that. You don't go anywhere. You don't move. You don't know anything.
So who's the one that, I suppose it's me, that has a feeling that life is encouraging me in a positive direction? I just have this feeling that all my life there's been something that's been encouraging me to into a more peaceful, restful state.
Are you looking for an answer?
I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, if anybody wants to comment on that, that's my experience, I think. Well, I know that's my experience. I'm trying to describe it to you. Well, no, you're telling me that I don't know anything, so I'm getting pretty tangled up here.
Let's go to Nkosi. Maybe Nkosi has a few words for us.
It's not that you do not know anything. You are not. It's just wholeness appearing as that. So as I always say, nobody has ever said anything. They've never done anything. It's just wholeness doing everything. Wholeness talking. You know, wholeness. You know, I can also say that there is no limitation here. Anything may happen, anything may arise, but it's just everything expressing as that. So right now, they may seem as if somebody's talking, but there's no one here. There's just everything talking. So ever since this meeting started, there's been wholeness talking, asking questions, giving an answer, disturbing itself. It's all just a play. It's all just a play. Nothing needs to be taken seriously. It's just wholeness doing its own thing. There's no one who's doing anything here. There's no one who's talking, arguing, worried, angry. That's just what seems to be happening. And it's everything, doing everything. So this doesn't see the other. It doesn't see the other talking, asking a question. It sees itself. So it doesn't really matter what is being said or done or a question arising, because everything is this. There's no separation here. There isn't any separation at all. It's just the limitlessness talking. There's no limitation. Anything may arise. A huge sound may seem to appear and disappear, and there may seem to be a reaction to that, and that doesn't really matter. Somebody may decide to go away, and that's just wholeness appearing as that. There's no real somebody who's going away. Somebody may appear to talk, to ask a question, or to try to mock, to play in the meeting, but that's just wholeness appearing as that somebody. It's not, there's no real somebody who's doing that. So everything is this already. There's no victim here. Because what seems to be an individual is just everything appearing as that. Wholeness appearing as a victim. So there's no victim. There's no one who's angry here. There's no one who's offended. There is no one who isn't there yet. There's just this. And this is nameless, formless, and empty. It's as if nothing is happening at all. So everything is this. No matter which shape or form it may appear to be, it's just everything appearing as that. And this doesn't know anything. It doesn't claim to have a great knowledge of anything. And this is not going anywhere. There's only what is. There are no conditions here. You can say it's unconditional love because every expression is this and nothing is suppressed. Yeah. Even what seems to be a suppression is also everything appearing as that. So it's beautiful to nobody, for nobody. If a question seems to come up, it may allow to express, and then there may seem to be an answer as well being given. It doesn't mean that there's a real somebody who's asking a question or there's a real somebody who's giving an answer. It's just everything appearing as that. Yeah, and it's
Beautiful. I could say a few words about, Nkosi mentioned seriousness, and that is one thing I've noticed is the me takes everything very, very seriously.
when you say that, Mike, it brings up memories when people used to address me and say, "Don't take this so serious," and I always hated that, you know. And to me, hates to be told not to be serious.
Yeah, because I take myself seriously. So when I take myself seriously, then of course I have to take others seriously. So if somebody insults me, of course I have to get mad. What choice do I have? But this, unknowing, it doesn't know from serious or not serious.
Hey Siri, there is no us.
So I'm with Peter. I think that I too react to don't take yourself so seriously because I've had so many do's and don'ts given to me in my life, but from, I guess for people, they want to feel more comfortable. So they've given me these do's and don'ts so I could live happier, they think. But so when somebody says, don't take yourself too seriously, I think, why not? It's nothing right or wrong with it. It's just what is too.
Somebody sent me a joke today. It's like an old lady that says, remember that the people that tell you to calm down are the people that made you mad to begin with. It's those people who tell you to calm down, you know.
One time I shared something in a group setting, and I was really, I was younger and I was really upset and I was being very dramatic, like drama queen like. And a guy came up to me afterward and he said, "Can I share something with you?" Because I was new to the group. And I said, "Sure." And he goes, "We have a saying around here, lighten the fuck up."
Now, of course, the me doesn't want to hear that because the me demands, no, you take me seriously. I demand to be taken seriously, and life just laughs.
Actually, in that case, I have to say I was so shocked. It worked. It really worked because I just was like, oh my God, he's right. Now, it helps that he was like wealthy, rich, and famous, but right, whoever's delivering the message to me might pay more attention to.
But really, the me can't lighten the fuck up. It just can't. Maybe for a moment, but as long as I'm a me, it's very serious business because I'm seeking. I want to get out of the me. How do I get out of the me if I don't take it seriously? So you see the conundrum. And that's all happening in the dream. Look now. Can you find a me right now?
But could also say regardless of me or no me or whatever that is or isn't, there also is this appearance of appearing. We call it life. We call it this appearance. And it could be a person appearing like Faith. This person we call Faith in this appearance of this ongoing story of life and the person is growing, and every day is a new experience, and every day is a lesson, and every our challenges, new growth, new ways to express, new ways to create and solve problems and just be in life. That story goes on, and there's a beauty to it, you could say, or a profound quality to it. It's appearing. And none of it is going anywhere. And Faith is not going to find anything inside that story, because it is a story, no matter what it is. The story is already what it is, which is this. So now, to me personally, I would just say that we see both of these things going on, just like we have two hands, but it's just this.
Yeah, and so the way I would say it here is that there's just unknowing, and within unknowing appears a dream of knowing.
But it's not appearing to anyone. And we don't know what it is.
If I may, I don't know, the dichotomy between seeker and speaker, or getting this and not getting this, well, we're saying it's non-duality. So those polarities don't really exist. So to me, even though there's no polarity, there's no good news or bad news. It was news that there's no separation between seeker and speaker. So there's, and this doesn't come from a knowing. Apparently, there's nothing to get. So there's no deficiency. There's no necessity to put in any effort towards that.
It's not that the questions are ever answered. It's just that they don't come up anymore. There's a simplicity about what is, a beauty, a love. Any last comments or questions before we close out this evening?
Great to have you back, buddy.
Oh, it's so
Yeah,
good.
Michael.
Thank you, guys. It is so good to be back with you.
Yeah, I missed the beginning, so I was going to ask how you're doing, even though I'm sure you've already told everybody.
Yeah, I begin chemo tomorrow, so we'll see what happens.
Oh boy, sending lots of prayers and positive thoughts.
Thank you, Joe.
From my me to your me.
Thank you.
And from her non-me to your non-me.
from what already is and just this.
From all of our non-me's and me's. We send you good vibes, buddy.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone, to each and every one of you for coming. So appreciate you. Love you all. Have a great evening. Good night, everyone.
Thanks, everybody.
See you, everybody.
Good night, everyone.